He made a dungeon.
You mean a dungeon?
Yeah.
So random.
Oh, wow. Horrible, man. Why are you protecting this woman? That is the devil right there.
You don't believe I'm this horrible person, do you?
Y'all are just doing your job.
When state police accompanied investigators from Child Services to a home in Texaco, New Mexico on July 22, 2022, they had no idea they were walking into a house of horrors.
That's sad, bro. It's a dungeon, bro.
Say please!
We received a new report regarding excessive inappropriate discipline at Marshall.
The woman who answered the door was Jayme Kushman. This isn't her first run-in with the CYFD, but this visit would eventually launch an investigation into one of the most shocking cases in all of New Mexico. Most of the following footage has never been seen before.
Oh, no, I know. Okay. Oh, I had a kid staying with me.
Kushman alleged that the person who reported her was someone she had a falling out with. For now, though, the police kept focused on inspecting the property.
Okay. So because of the condition this time, usually it's a whole lot better than this, so I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, like I said, I was in the hospital, so.
Okay. Is Laura not staying here?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to take some pictures. See how it goes. So, and since it's going backwards, then we'll take some pictures and then we'll just.
But this is room. I mean, this is just.
Right. But it's. We're going to take pictures of the whole house. But you know, you're responsible for her too.
Well, I know, but I didn't feel like this was super messy.
Yeah.
I mean, she was actually cleaning it last night. So.
Yeah. And she's the only one that's sleeping in here?
Yeah, this is her room. Well, you take pictures. I'm going to just check on the kids, okay?
Okay.
Do you want me to go with her?
Yeah, because she's wanting to go in.
They're back.
No worries.
Hey, can you stay with her?
Yeah.
I'll stay with her.
The kitchen was extremely messy, with dirty dishes rendering the space nearly unusable. The bathrooms were an even worse mess, with mold growing on the tile around the shower and bathtub. There was no running water and the toilets were backed up. Portable toilets had been placed around the residence to compensate, though it appeared that none had been emptied recently as they were completely filled with waste. Needless to say, the house didn't pass inspection, but the evidence which would take the case from simply concerning to truly horrific was yet to be found. Kushman had been sharing this house not only with her own children, but her girlfriend, also named Jayme, her girlfriend's kids, and a 16-year-old girl who was not related. There was also another couple staying with them. But before investigators could get too far, Kushman attempted to pull a fast one with the authorities.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that I have a bad standing with CYFD, I don't feel safe. Because I have a bad standing with CYFD.
Like in reference to what? Like what's the standing?
Like she doesn't like me.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, because she came out here and she took an infant from me and we fought it in court.
Okay. Did you get that infant back?
No. It wasn't my infant.
Okay.
Yeah. And she does not like me. So
The one I'm walking around with?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I don't feel like I'm gonna get a fair, because in all honesty, you don't have to. I don't see anything wrong with my home. Mm-hmm. Do you?
I mean, there's stuff here and there, but I mean, no one's home is perfect.
But nothing to cause a letter from one of you, think?
It's safe to say that the investigators were, in fact, alarmed. They would seek to learn more about the baby later, but currently needed to focus on the situation at the house and the state of the children living there. After sending Kushman back inside the house, the investigators finally catch up with 14-year-old CK to ask her what had been going on.
I really need you to be honest with me. I need you to talk to me about these things, okay? Because other people are telling us. So whether you just tell us everything or not, we're still going to be involved. And you're the older one. I need you to tell us the truth. You can look in his eyes this time and tell that he's scared. Yes. And he's never been afraid of us.
But this wasn't the only surprise investigators were in for, as a new party arrived on the scene while they were chatting with the kids.
That's just Laura. Yeah. I thought she didn't live here anymore. She didn't. She doesn't. She lives in Clovis.
What Laura was suddenly doing on the scene was anyone's guess. The specifics of why weren't needed for investigators to know that there was more going on than met the eye.
You okay this time? You don't look okay this time.
I'm nervous though.
It's okay. You don't have to be nervous. Remember last time? It was okay. I'm never going to be mean to you. You're not going to be in trouble for anything we talk about. Okay? You okay? Okay. And it's okay. She already told me. So we already know about it. People have already told us. You're not going to get in trouble. You don't have to talk about it. You're okay. You're okay. Is that good for him?
The horrifying details of what the children revealed would be learned later. For now, after speaking with the children, the officer and the child services investigator had to make a decision on how to move forward. What they came up with did not go over well with Kushman or her girlfriend Jayme Kushman, who had rushed home from work when she heard the police were there.
Based on the report we got, and the kids did confirm everything. So the kids were very forthcoming this time.
This is an interrogation tactic. By stating that the kids have told them everything this time, she makes it clear that she already knows what's going on, as this puts pressure on Kushman and Kushman to say something that matches what the kids have said. What's most interesting here is that Kushman doesn't make any denials and doesn't ask what the kids have said. Based on the evidence gathered, the police returned a short time later with a search warrant for the Kushman property.
What are you guys doing? Which one's Senna? Which one's Kushman? All right, I'm Agent Villarreal. I don't know if you guys remember me from last time.
Yes, sir.
This is Sergeant Hernandez with Oakland State Police. Okay. We do have a search warrant. You guys just have your cell phones. Those are also being seized. Okay. Because it's part of the search warrant. It's on the search warrant. You turn it off.
Can I tell something to you?
Yeah.
There's going to be a phone up videos on there.
That's not my concern.
Okay.
That is not my concern. I know. Trust me. The person that's going to be extracting the data is me. Okay. So that is not a part of our investigation. Whether there is or not, we don't care. I don't care. That is not our concern. That's not why we're here. That's not the data that we need. Okay. So we're only going to extract data that we need. That's it. And we'll give them back to you.
Both phones were seized, along with the required passcodes, as the search warrant dictated. It's an interesting question of what would have happened if they'd refused to hand over their passcodes. Though the warrant technically required them to hand over this information, it cannot actually force them to comply. However, refusing could result in them being found in contempt of court. In theory, by disobeying the warrant, the court could put them in jail right then and there until they produced the passcode. With their phones in the hands of the police, the full scope of the horror would soon be revealed. And it was more deplorable than anyone could have expected, despite Kushman's apparently jovial attitude.
Do you guys have any questions for me or anything?
No, sir. Y'all are just doing your job.
The police, however, did have a few more questions for Kushman.
Is it the 357?
Yeah. It's the one I got certified with.
Gotcha.
I wish I'd have known that before that, because, man, I wasn't prepared for that kickback.
Gotcha. Yeah. Mess up your thumb?
Well, yeah, and because I wasn't wearing my earplugs right,
Oh, yeah.
the noise, my ears rang for like a week.
Yep. So we'll just call you guys down there so you guys can pick them up.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll probably even just bring them to you if you're here.
Oh, you can call my phone, but it's
Oh, that's right.
it's gonna
Just bring them here.
Small talk complete and the warrant served, the police took their leave, thanking Kushman for being so cooperative. As the police combed through Kushman and Kushman's phones, they uncover the unthinkable horrors that took place in that house, and immediately asked Jayme Kushman to come by the station to answer a few questions. What she ended up revealing was enough to shock even the most seasoned detectives. The following footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor, a licensed clinical psychologist, a licensed attorney, a former detective, a licensed polygraph examiner, and a former hostage negotiation commander and instructor.
Like I told him on the phone, we just want to do some follow-up and kind of do a status and stuff like that. First and foremost, you are here voluntarily.
Yes.
Okay, I know you said you have an attorney. Do you still want to speak with us with your attorney?
It's fine.
Okay.
That's reading her rights too.
The officers read Senna her Miranda rights, though she wasn't under arrest. Little did the officers know Senna was hiding more than one shocking secret, and she wasn't the only one listening in on this conversation.
How's everything been going since?
I've just been working.
Been
I
working?
moved out of the house.
You moved out?
Yes, I moved out.
You don't live there anymore? You still in a relationship with Jayme?
Yep.
You guys split up?
Yes.
What was the reason for that? Did she say?
I lost my kids. It broke me.
In the past, Senna had also been in contact with CYFD due to conflicts with her older stepdaughter. This, combined with the horrors uncovered in Kushman's house, resulted in Senna losing custody of her children. The police also took this opportunity to ask what she knew of Kushman's children. Senna explained that RK and CK were Kushman's sister's biological children, but Kushman had taken custody soon after they were born. AB wasn't related to Kushman and had been placed with her by CYFD years ago when Kushman lived in Texas.
How old was he when you guys got him?
Jane got him when he was like 3, I think.
3?
Yeah.
And he's 11 now?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been with you a while.
With her, yes.
With her?
Yes. I've only been living with Jayme since like the end of March. Like officially legal. Like, living there, moved in since like March.
This year?
Mm-hmm. I haven't really been there that long.
In an exclusive interview with EWU, a victim of Jayme Kushman named Jayme McDaniel shared there was some confusion on how AB came to be in Kushman's custody.
So how she was able to bring another child into the home? No idea. But Texas was like, hey, this kid needs help. Take him. She didn't go through the formal CPS. It was a phone call. Hey, I'm getting taken to jail. Will you come get my kid? Kushman said, yep, be right there. CPS let her leave with them. That was the end of it. Sweetest kid. He was loving. Oh my gosh. He wanted to be held. He wanted to be cuddled. And of course, Kushman always wanted a boy. So at first, this was like answer to her prayers. He got everything he wanted. He got his own room. We bought so many clothes and toys for this kid. Very, very quickly, the problems became too much for her. He was defiant. He wouldn't potty train correctly. He wanted to eat all the time. So when he got to this house where she was willing to give him anything and everything he wanted, of course he's going to eat all the time. He's a kid. He's not going to stop and think, oh, well, maybe this is too much. So he would eat to the point where he made himself sick. Well, Kushman was like, nope, that's not good. So all of a sudden he was being punished. Nobody checked on him, not one time from the time he got to our home in Farwell till when he got picked up. Not one time did someone come to visit him and be like, hey, you're not even supposed to be in this state. Hey, you're not even supposed to be with this woman. That was never brought up. Tell me how a whole state lost this child.
Worse, according to McDaniel, Kushman had already been reported to CPS at the time she got custody of AB. This was massively worrying, especially considering what police knew about how AB had been treated. Senna might have been a recent addition to the house, but police suspected that she could be hiding more than one dark secret. They would uncover exactly what it was during their interview.
How were they fed? For the food, everyone had all the kids had the same amount of food.
Every dinner, every lunch, every meal, we had every single food group.
Okay.
Like, I mean, they had, those little trays you get at Walmart?
Mm-hmm.
They got the 3.
Yes, sections?
Yeah. All of those were always full.
Okay. How was the discipline situation?
Yeah, it was always redirecting. It's not like I told the lawyer, it's redirect, over and over and over, time out to their room. And if it ended up screaming and kicking and fighting, then they get the spanking, but not hard, not excessive, not like, oh my gosh,
Who would do the discipline?
Jayme.
Would you do the discipline?
No.
What kind of discipline would you do?
Timeouts.
Timeouts.
And every once
So
in a while, yes, I did. like my son, if he started kicking and screaming, I would pat him on the and to his room.
Though Senna portrayed what she thought was a rather favorable image of the children at home, the appalling reality was a far cry from it. This truth surfaced during the search conducted by the police at the Kushman residence.
New Mexico State Police, we have a search warrant. We have a search warrant. New Mexico State Police, come to the door.
State police, search warrant.
New Mexico State Police, we have a search warrant. Come to the door.
When their announcements went unanswered, police entered the residence anyway. Despite the officer's suspicions, no one was found in the residence. Just as before, however, emaciated dogs were running free all over the property, and police had to take extra care to make sure that none of them were aggressive. One of the first things the police probably noticed was how different the inside of the house appeared compared to the previous visit.
State police, search warrant. Clear? Clear.
John, did you clear that spot? There we are. Back to you.
Anybody clear over here?
Yeah, keep it in. State police, search warrant!
Dirty dishes were no longer overflowing from the sink. The toilets were empty, and the water was back on. A former friend of the Kushman family, however, was able to offer a theory on the matter. Matthew came forward to talk to the police once he heard on the news that Kushman was being investigated. He'd reported Kushman to CYFD multiple times, starting around 2014, 8 years earlier than what was happening now. But none of his efforts ever led to a formal investigation. His theory about why nothing ever happened was highly concerning.
They call CPS or CPS, they call on them, they get a heads up somehow. And
Jayme
and Laura get a heads up somehow from CPS through whoever. I don't know if it's a law enforcement that lets them know or.
How do you know that?
Because the time I called, the kids would clean up everything and she'd get them all dressed up in matching outfits.
Unfortunately, state police would discover that this was only one example of how local law enforcement had failed to capture evidence of the children's suffering until it was too late.
How do the allegations that they're being kept in their room, and if they try to get out, the kids have to have some kind of alarm? It sounds like you like the kid who's getting out of that.
So random.
I guarantee they were up to something. Yep. Think you'll be giving us a 48? Will you hold that up if I don't get your picture?
Oh, yeah.
After finding the chains next to the beds, the investigators might have thought they'd already discovered the worst of the suffering. But this was just the beginning, and they never could have guessed just how inhumane some of the children's treatment had been. Police found more chains and padlocks, secreted away in a drawer beside Kushman and Senna's bed. It seemed that with every room they searched, more disturbing evidence was unearthed.
See the other one?
Oh yeah, the other one right here.
And then
Jayme, right here. All right, let's go.
When investigators eventually confronted Senna with these sickening details, she revealed a surprise of her own.
The chains, the alarms,
What was that for?
just because Jayme has said that it has gotten out to the house and broke into neighbors' houses. So it's a alarm they put on him, but the pin pulls out real quick, and they have free range of the entire house.
Typically, children with such severe behavioral problems have been mistreated, especially if they're under 12 years of age.
I don't know how to explain it, but there's the black box, okay, and then the chain goes on their ankle, and the little pin goes into the black box. The second that pin pops out, the alarm screams. But they have free range of everywhere. They're not.
Was the wife aware of that?
As far as I know when they came in January, they saw them. They never said anything about
Were
it.
they aware of how they were being used?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know all of that.
Though Senna didn't yet seem to realize it, she just implicated herself in the awful happenings inside the house. While executing the search warrant, police had found the so-called screamers that Senna was talking about.
That's the alarm.
Did you videotape it?
Yeah, we do.
There's a little thing that comes off too.
So they won't leave? They know when they leave?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Horrible, man. That's not right for children. Or any person for that matter.
The police found more chains and screamers beside every bed in the room. Back with Senna, the chains weren't the only thing police planned to confront her about.
So if CYD would come, because let's be real, that house was not the best, cleanest house ever. It was always dirty.
This is unsafe. You got the recording?
Yeah.
Crazy in here, dude. What's up with that door?
Huh?
And every time CYD showed up, you guys would start picking it up, correct?
I was.
Who was she called to give her time to pick up the house?
I don't know.
In addition to more evidence of the callous disregard and treatment of the children, the police also found a strange area attached to the laundry room at the Kushman residence.
Oh. What? It just leads back. It just leads back here. What? I'm good.
Nothing relevant was found in this strange area, but it was a different story entirely when they searched the backyard.
It's behind. Yeah, there's an AC on this side.
This small structure would become very important to the case soon enough.
Say, police.
Those who tried to report this terrible mistreatment of the children and living conditions met with the short end of the stick. In an exclusive interview with Iwu, Matthew shared more about his frustration with law enforcement after he alleged that they told Kushman he was the one who reported her.
So I got to go talk to Doug Bowman, city cop. And I go over and I'm like, what is this? Well, you got a restraining order against you from Jayme Kushman and them. Blah, 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 says you harassed them, whatever. And I was like, Doug, the kids are getting chained to a bed. I said, your cop messed up. No, their story checks out.
What Matthew didn't know is that the chains were only one aspect of what was going on. The officer in question also asked Matthew to provide photo or video proof of his accusations, which just wasn't feasible thanks to the iron grip Kushman kept on everyone in the house.
If I was taking pictures of Flash at night, she would have lit me up and it'd been over with. And she'd have a way to cover it up. Doug, I said, is this going to be the one time that the kids slipped through the cracks? And he said, well, I guess so.
Matthew was no longer welcome on Cushman's property after the police allegedly told her about his involvement.
And then the cops in Clovis wouldn't believe me. I said they treated me like I was a criminal, like I did something. They actually threatened me with having a false report on somebody.
Sadly, this was only one example of the frustrating experiences witnesses had with local law enforcement. In an exclusive interview with EWU, Alicia Brand, a former friend, roommate, and partner of Kushman, shared more on the subject.
I made, between CPS and the Texaco police, it had to be like 75 calls. It had to. I did it anonymously for a while until I didn't care anymore. Hi, I'm calling again. Hi, I'm calling again. And maybe I'd get a different person on the line and they'd be like, no, I'm gonna put good notes in this. Like the notes from last time don't really look like that. And I'd be like, what do you mean? And I'd tell them from the beginning, and then I'd tell them currently, and I'd tell them, and I'd spend hours on the line over and over and over trying to get someone else out there. I'd be like, please don't send the local sheriff. Please don't send, the same people that have been going out there. You need someone bigger.
The state police were determined to handle things differently. They tracked down Sheriff Doug Bowman and brought him in for an interview of his own.
Over the course of my career over here, 14 years, I've been over there, I can't tell you exactly how many times, but it's been a handful of times that I've been over there with CYFD. Mm-hmm. I found it unusual that every time we went, the accusations that were made, there was no evidence or foundation to believe what they were doing was wrong. Was the house dirty and not the best that it could be? Yeah, but I've been in a lot of houses like that in my career that doesn't justify taking kids out of there.
I literally took the chains off the wall. We have chains and evidence on every single wall where the bed's at.
Kenny, I don't doubt you guys.
You never saw a chain hung up next to the bed and the kids?
No, sir.
Time at all?
There was never a chain.
Back in the interrogation room, Senna was growing more and more distressed.
Tell me about the dungeon outside.
What dungeon?
The storage shit outside the house.
The one in the front yard right there?
In the back.
In the back.
In the backyard?
Yes.
What the snake and the cats, what's that used for?
Police first learned about the dungeon when they asked about Kushman's uncle James, who sometimes lived on the back part of the property. Why he built it and what he utilized it for remains unknown. Police were pretty sure that they found the dungeon in question while carrying out the search warrant on the property.
Something's in there, huh? An air conditioner in here?
Do you think that's like what they say the dungeon is?
You're probably right.
That's what I'm thinking, because there's an
air conditioner.
Yeah. Will your baton fit?
Got it. Yeah, I don't want to bang my baton.
There you go.
That's cats, bro. Oh, there's a bed, bro. There's a dungeon, bro. Hold on, let me photograph it.
Yeah. Is that a freaking arrow? There's a toilet in here? Got a SIM card?
SIM card?
Is there a camera?
In addition to a crossbow, camera, chains, and an abundance of cats, the investigators also found another critical piece of evidence that would be significant later. Senna, however, had a different explanation for the shed dungeon altogether.
Andy and Rob stay there.
Who?
Andy and Rob stay there.
Who's Andy and Rob?
The two people with the baby? Where's the baby now?
They're in Oklahoma, as far as I know. The baby got taken away.
Did you ever put the kids in there?
No. The kids never got in there. I know that 100%.
Police needed to find out how much Jayme Senna was aware of what was happening to the children, and what her exact role was in the cycle of mistreatment that so clearly pervaded Kushman's inner circle. They clearly suspected that she wasn't telling them the whole truth, though the reason why was more complex than they could have predicted.
Whose idea was it to do that? When you moved in, was it already happening?
It was already there.
So you had no play in installing those chains? No. Did you ever tie them to their ankles? Did you personally tie them?
Once, I think.
To who? You tied it once?
But I never did it tight or nothing. I was so scared.
Would you chain your like that? Not for discipline. You would never do that?
Obviously, police had to question this, especially after what they'd heard from witnesses. Alicia admitted that Kushman tried to pressure her to discipline the children when she first moved in.
In the beginning, I just noticed that there were excessive whoopings. These kids would be spanked, dragged to where they were being spanked, picked up by the ear and moved and being spanked. There was one time where she was like, if they're not where they're supposed to be, I grab them by the ear and I move them. I expect you to do that. So I didn't. One day I told her what happened. So she hit me. She punched me in the chest. She said I should never undermine her parenting, that she can discipline her children how she wishes.
Jayme McDaniel had a similarly bleak history with Kushman, which began when she was only 15.
One day, she had pushed me and I had hit the wall and I had like bounced off of it. And of course, like I'm going to catch myself because I think I'm falling. And she thought I was coming at her for pushing me. She knocked me in my face over the love seat. She then flipped the love seat over on top of me, made Melanson, herself, all the kids sit on top of this love seat so I could not move. I'm claustrophobic to a degree. I have panic attacks. I have anxiety attacks at this point. I had such a bad anxiety attack under there. I pissed my britches. I threw up. And then I was made to clean it up when they finally decided that I was allowed to come out from underneath the love seat. I had to clean that up myself.
McDaniel's story only became darker from there. If Kushman was capable of behaving like this, police had to wonder what else her children had been subjected to. Even with all of this in mind, there were still stomach-churning details to be uncovered regarding the children. As it turns out, the children weren't only punished physically. Matthew said that they were also frequently humiliated as a form of discipline.
It looked like something you'd see in a World War II POW camp. Well, she was probably 9 or 10 at the time, maybe. They would make her wear just her underwear, no shirt, no bottom and stuff, around me just to embarrass her, and I said, honey, don't worry about it.
This poor child was standing in the corner for days at a time. She started making her do exercises as punishment. It was do a wall squat for 30 minutes. No one can do a wall squat for 30 minutes. I am sorry. I don't care who you are. That is not an easy task.
State police found a way to confirm at least some of what they'd been told while executing the search warrant, and it was worse than they ever could have imagined.
There's going to be a camera as soon as you walk in on the wall. That's the chain. The beds were here. It got moved.
In addition to taking all the chains, locks, and screamers they could find, the police also collected a camera mounted on the wall in the first children's bedroom. The footage retrieved from this camera, which was also downloaded to Kushman and Senna's phones, would ultimately reveal the entire sickening truth of what took place in the house and who the perpetrators were.
And like I said, we extracted data from both y'all's phones. We've extracted data from the video cameras. Mm-hmm. And some of the videos are not good. Like, not good.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you some photos.
Okay.
We extracted over 1,400 videos.
Wow.
That's just some.
That's not everything. Okay. This is Jayme's phone. You can see here, who's that?
The kids?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who's that? I know the picture is a little small.
Yeah, it's like, can I get back?
Yeah.
No, I guess that's either.
Okay. You see what they're eating? So right here on this one, bowl spaghetti, right? How do you feed a dog? You put them outside in a bowl. Here's your food, right?
Yeah.
Put the bowl of food in the bathtub naked and they're eating it with their hands.
It wasn't even a bowl?
It wasn't even a bowl. It was the food thrown inside the bathtub.
Nasty ass bathtub.
What she just told me.
You know about that though, right?
That was a fun thing they did. They filmed the bathtub with spaghetti because they saw it on a video or YouTube or something.
What sick person does that?
I didn't know that She said it was fun.
I thought you said you never saw this.
I've never seen the picture. She told me.
She told you about it.
She told me about it. And I was like, well, that sounds like a fun thing. I mean, you see people doing it.
You think that's fun?
Like, I'm thinking not a bathtub, okay? I'm thinking like one of those big up air pools and the kids get to play around. Like, you know, you see people with the Jello or whatever. I'm thinking fun. The way she described it to me sounded fun. You know, like a slip inside of spaghetti. Like, that's what I'm picturing. I didn't know that.
What would you do if you saw your daughter like that?
I would lose it.
As it turned out, the spaghetti pictures weren't the first time the bathtub had been misused as a feeding trough.
And she had dumped cottage cheese in there. They had been there probably for days because it was growing mold.
Right.
And she was allowing them to eat it.
Unfortunately, this was just one of many incidents involving food.
And she got this, like, the blue kiddie pools, like the plastic ones.
Mm-hmm.
She filled it with pudding. It was like 10 gallons of milk and so many boxes of pudding and sprinkles and whipped cream. And she made this pool of pudding. She made the kids get in there and eat it. I don't remember if it was the boy or the youngest girl, but they were going to pee their pants. They had to go to the bathroom so bad. And they didn't get out of the pool all the way in time, which is gross in its own, right? Like, you just peed in a pool of pudding. And so the oldest girl jumped out, threw a fit because she was sitting in a puddle of pudding. Like, of course you're going to react to that. So she jumps out. Well, Kushman gets mad. And those two kids are made to eat so much of that pudding. Mind you, now it has dirt in it. It has leaves in it. It has pee in it. These kids have been getting out and in, and they have toys in there, and they've made buckets, and it's this disgusting mess. It's starting to smell. It's warm outside. It's been sitting outside for hours at this point. She makes them start eating it until they're both so sick they can't stand it.
Things got really, really messed up when the youngest one started having accidents. That's when they started blending the food. If we were having something for dinner, it got thrown in a blender with her drink, her everything, and that's what she was expected to eat. The first time they had put like stuff that's not necessarily too gross together, you know, some fruit and like a piece of bread. And, you know, she didn't love the texture, but she ate it. She thought it was funny. The kid thought it was funny. She's like, oh yeah, I'm a baby, whatever. But then because that didn't affect her, they're like, oh, well, we're having a hamburger. So you're getting a blended hamburger. And then like, oh, well, what we're having tonight isn't bad enough. So I'm going to put in tuna and all like fruit and things that are, and just blend them together.
Horrifically, Alicia said that even if the concoction was disgusting enough to make CK vomit, she would still be made to eat it. But it didn't end there either.
I seen him when he was chained to the fireplace that one time. They had run out of dog food and he couldn't eat that morning or whatever, is what he did last night or night before. They made a bunch of rice and just boiled rice and stuff and was feeding their dogs and stuff. And one of the dog bowls was by, and he scooched the dog bowl over to him and ate it, and he got punished for that too.
Because he ate the dog's
Because he ate the dog's rice.
So the dog got a better treatment than he did?
Yes. They were evil, pure evil.
Yeah.
I mean, 100% pure evil.
What happened with when started her menstrual cycle?
Like when it was starting to start, Jayme had mentioned that she thought that, and Jayme was like, well, that's gross, we're not doing that. That's what my sister used to do. That's disgusting. Women don't do that. And so she had, I don't know if she put hot sauce on her actual parts or she put hot sauce on her hands.
Everything the witnesses shared so far was from before Senna moved in. At that time, Kushman was still in a relationship with Laura, raising the question of what role she might have played. Police would soon find out.
If Laura wasn't as hateful to them when Jayme wasn't around, I would have thought, okay, she's in the same position I was. She's scared of her. She's just doing what she's being told. But when Jayme wasn't around, when Jayme was in the back or whatever, she was no nicer to those kids. In February of 2020, she had the wood paddle, and then she had hit him with his chain.
She hit him with his chain?
So she was whooping him with the chain?
Well, she had him bent down. She was holding his head into the bed, and she was hitting him with the chain. Well, she was hitting him with the paddle. When he wasn't crying because he'd been hit so many damn times, she got mad and she unhooked him from his ankle and she started hitting him with the chain.
This horrific scene suggests a level of sadism was likely present. Laura was apparently not satisfied until she heard AB cry, which is why she used the chain. Please note that the term sadism is often associated with acts, but can be associated with individuals who derive gratification from inflicting pain on others. McDaniel also mentioned that Kushman made the paddle herself. Caregivers who spend time planning the different forms of punishment likely have sadistic traits, and most likely have antisocial personality disorder, as the two disorders can often co-occur.
Did you ever see Laura?
Oh yeah, Laura would be the one to lock them up too.
You saw her lock them up?
Oh yeah. What pure evil these people are. Laura was just involved, but she got Jayme's the ringleader of all.
Do you think Laura should be in jail too?
Oh yes, absolutely. Laura should be in jail for what she did.
Perhaps Laura's involvement was why, despite being divorced, Kushman and Laura had been in regular contact since the investigation began. Even after Cushman's arrest later, the two made regular phone calls to discuss the case, including the so-called spaghetti thing.
I need to tell you something too.
What?
I went through your pictures on your phone.
Uh-huh.
Like all your pictures on your phone?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just to let you know. I was looking for the spaghetti pictures to see what they were.
Yeah, and from what you can't tell, but that the kids are wearing underwear.
Yeah, but just know I went through all your pictures, okay?
Kushman seemed to be missing the point about all the concerning aspects of those photos. A few days later, Laura fell into the same pattern.
And they have blown the spaghetti thing so far out of the water, it's not even funny.
Are you serious? What are they saying?
Oh, it's just, you can tell that they're eating, the spaghetti was just thrown in the bathtub, and they're eating it with their hands.
What about asking the kids?
I don't know what they've asked the kids. I don't know what they've talked to them about. I only know bits and pieces of what the kids said in the forensic interview.
Police did in fact ask the kids. With overwhelming evidence piling up against Kushman, Laura, and Senna, the children were taken to the state police station to meet with a child forensic interviewer. Further depths of the children's suffering were finally about to be brought to light.
That day, the next day, her shoot the trampoline.
You shot the trampoline?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anybody on the trampoline?
No, only me.
You were on the trampoline when she shot at it? Okay. How did that make you feel when?
Nervous.
Nervous, yeah.
Because her said her going to shoot me where my ankle only is.
Notice how AB answered, "No one, just me," as if he doesn't consider himself a person. Tragically, it seems he's learned through a lifetime of mistreatment that he is unimportant and essentially invisible to the adult caregivers in his life. This is what CK, one of the older children in the group, had to share.
What's in your room?
Dressers, TV. We do have a chain.
Okay.
But my mom's been talking about taking it off and stuff. They do make me feel safe because they really make me feel like I will never leave this home. Okay. I'm chained to my house.
The chain providing CK with a sense of security shows how disturbing behavior in the home had been normalized and even associated with love.
How else do you feel when you're chained?
Sometimes I do feel sad. I always feel sad because I shouldn't have to be chained. Like it's my fault. Stuff like that.
It appeared that Kushman was gradually beginning to grasp the gravity of her actions, yet Laura remained seemingly detached from the unfolding reality.
Jayme, we've been through hell.
What if this is the rest of my life?
I'm afraid that it's not.
We don't think I'm going to prison for the rest of my life, right?
Not the rest of your life.
If Laura was so deeply involved as police were coming to suspect, it was only a matter of time before they determined if Senna had followed in her footsteps. Police would know soon enough once she finally started telling the truth.
Why do they have sheets and comforters and pillows and he doesn't?
I know sometimes he gets himself, so then we have to do laundry.
So then do the laundry.
After reviewing the security footage, however, The police knew that there was a far crueler explanation than a slow laundry process.
What happened that day?
I know that day.
What
That is the day he got out and stole everything in the kitchen. I know that day.
And he threw it where? On the bed, right?
On the bed, yes.
What was that red stuff he threw up?
All the food he ate.
All the food he ate?
He got into all the hot Cheetos, the cereal, the oatmeal, all the crap. I mean, he got into everything.
Let me show you something. Okay?
Okay.
You see that chain? You can't get out.
It sounds like AB engaged in food hoarding, which can be typical of children who are being underfed, severely neglected, or starved. On the morning of July 6th, just 3 weeks before the entire incident came to light, it became apparent that AB had been sick at some point during the night and was forced to sleep with his own vomit. The camera captured every awful detail, including Senna ignoring the situation. A few moments later, Kushman entered the room, and things went from bad to worse.
Nobody cleans up that throat. You know how he cleans it up? You'll see right now how he cleans it up.
The footage showed Kushman entering the room in a violent fit of rage and smothering AB's face in his own vomit. Later, AB had picked out pieces of the vomit from the mattress while he continued to feel sick and remained chained to his bed. What was further sickening was the fact that Kushman and Senna had set up security cameras to film this sort of to later save it in their phones.
You cannot sit there and say, "Oh my God," and tell me you did not know.
I did not know that's how it happened. I didn't.
What you didn't know is you didn't know about that chain. Because listen to me. Just listen. Everyone has said they have chained him up. And we're not even done going through the video.
Police confronted Senna with just how unacceptable this indignity, along with the violence, was. You can probably guess her response.
So you're never around when this happens? No. So you didn't know about all of this? He's sleeping throughout the night like that, and I find it hard that you didn't know about it.
I knew about because he got out and he stole
Right, but you know what kind of chain she's using. He cannot get out of that.
It's a chain.
Senna, watch this. This is how we're going to put it this way, okay? It's time for you to start thinking about you.
Yeah, I am.
And stop thinking about Kushman. Because if you guys are separated and you guys are not together, it's time for you to start thinking about you and stop thinking about her.
As far as
because listen. This is serious.
I know.
You knew he was not on that chain with a pin. You knew it. Everybody knows because everybody locked him up in that. Did you not know? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
I knew the chain.
Right, but you knew come apart unless you unlock it. Not this one.
Yes, it plugs into the alarm.
No, because he cannot. We have multiple videos of him. He cannot get out of that unless he has a key.
There's messages that we recovered from your phone too. This is something in the lines of, "I'm getting tired. He's fucking hungry." Like that. This is your time right now. This is your time right now.
I've never hurt my kids.
Have you seen Kushman?
Text messages, like the security footage, suggested that Senna was far more than a helpless witness. In one message, Senna wrote to Kushman, quote, "LOL is pissing me off, trying to find something to watch." When Kushman asked what was going on, Senna replied, "His stupid, I'm hungry. I'm going to knock him out." Later, Kushman texted Senna, "Ha, they're not going to stop until they get me for child." She was right, and now they were after Senna too. Watching the footage back, it seemed to have a strong effect on her. So strong, in fact, that it led her to reveal something police had not even thought to suspect.
Why are you protecting this woman? That is the devil right there. And you know that. Do not protect this woman. Go ahead. Why was she doing that? Did you put her for her to listen?
She wanted to listen.
She knew. I mean,
You're scared of her. You know what you just did?
I've try to protect my kids as much as possible.
You know what you just did?
I've left several times. What did I do?
Just tampered with evidence.
That's right. Kushman was listening in on the interview from the other end of a call. Combined with what Senna and Kushman had just pulled off and the overall evidence against them, officers acquire an arrest warrant for Kushman immediately.
Let's go. Make sure you stay hot all the time. Yeah.
Is there any way I could have a couple drags and a cigarette before I get in the car?
No.
Perhaps tellingly, Kushman didn't once ask why she was under arrest. Nor did Laura Melanson, who was driving the car. Kushman was taken to jail. Back in the interrogation room, Senna is finally starting to react, perhaps only now that her own well-being is on the line.
You gotta start thinking. You gotta start thinking about you and your kids, or you and her.
Kids, I don't want my babies. I'll do anything to get my kids.
You think this is gonna help you getting your kids back?
No.
Like, I'm telling you right now, we're not even close to being done. And we're still going through everything. But this alone, just off of this, that's crazy.
This has got to be one of the worst trauma cases we've had. Top 5 for sure.
I just want to protect these kids. All of them.
Let's just start back and relax. Just relax. This is what we're gonna need from you, okay?
I didn't need to. Okay,
Listen.
I thought it was just going to be a couple questions.
It's not gonna be a couple questions, okay?
I'm so sorry.
Relax, okay?
This, what we just presented to you and listening to, is evidence.
I did not know you were going to tell me anything like that. I thought you were just going to ask me a couple
Then why didn't you take it out when we were going? You know where we were going with this. Why didn't you take it out and hang up?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Will she come and talk to us?
I don't know.
After what she heard?
Probably not.
Probably not. And guess whose fault was that? This ends up going to court.
She
Listen to me.
she was never going to come anyways. She told me she was
Listen to
going
me.
to come.
If this ends up going to court, we got to think about your kids. We got to think about kids, right? Right? Would you be willing to testify to everything that you told us? You're supposed to be scared for your kids.
I'm terrified for my
What for your kids?
I'm trying now. I know it's late, but I'm trying now. I know it's a little late, and I'm so sorry. I never wanted any kid to ever get hurt.
This is so messed up. You have no idea.
I do.
You obviously don't act like you do. You know more than what you're telling us.
I don't. I'm answering everything honestly. Now that she's off the phone, I'm answering everything honestly. And yes, I admit sometimes I lost my control. You'll see it in the video. I've gone in there and yelled at my son. Okay, but I don't. They're her kids. I didn't know where I stand. I barely just moved into there.
You know what kind of punishment this is?
It's bad.
It's torture.
What did she do?
It's the same thing. Spankings.
Chain?
Yep. But I know for sure, 100%, her pen is easy access to get out.
His is not. His is not.
No, his is not.
His is not. Thank you.
Here, Senna finally admits to lie number 1, indicating that there are probably many more to come.
Could you imagine if there was a fire in that house?
It would not be safe, I know.
He will burn to death because he couldn't get out because he was tied like a dog in his damn room. And both of you will be charged for homicide.
Let's backtrack a little bit, okay? We're gonna start all over, okay? Just relax, okay? This is what we're gonna need. What's going on in that house? What I want is nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Going forward.
Don't get treated like the others. They don't.
It's obvious. It's
Yeah,
obvious.
they don't. Jayme has an anger issue. And when they start acting up excessively, she gets upset. She says stuff. She does stuff.
What have you seen her do?
I've seen her spank the kids with the paddle.
They'd suspected the use of a paddle since the initial report alleged that one was used in the house, and all but confirmed it during the search warrant.
Got it. Hey, I got the paddles. Got the paddles.
Oh, there's a snake in there. Oh, I'm getting. Whoa.
There's a snake. There's a snake. Snake. Hey, can you get a picture? There's paddles.
While this discovery was huge in terms of evidence, police knew this wasn't the only form of corporal punishment used in the house. They intended to wring every drop of truth from Senna, who still knew more than she was saying.
But the chain is a form of punishment.
Yes, and I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with it. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't do that to my kids. I don't.
It's a form to keep them there to punish them without putting too many freaking bruises on their body. That's what that is. Because you guys know CYFD goes to that house. And if they have a bunch of bruises on their body, what do you think's gonna happen?
I've never seen her physically do.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Not excessively, not where it hurt them that bad.
Footage extracted from the security camera in Kushman and Senna's phones showed firsthand just how barbaric some of the children's punishments were. In the uncensored footage, Kushman slaps AB in the face 3 times. LS was dragged from his bed by an unidentified female. Confronted with this, Senna was at last about to reveal the extent of this nightmare situation, and what she shared was even more shocking than anything discovered so far.
You've seen that before.
I wasn't in the room.
No, I said before. You've seen that punishment before. You've seen them hit the. You've seen her beat. Why am I so scared? Because you don't. You're scared because you don't want to tell us the truth. Yeah, because you know if you tell us the truth, what? Why are you scared of her?
Because I hit it and I didn't tell nobody.
This is your time right now. Tell them.
Okay, she beats them.
Why?
Because she has anger issues. They don't do something she likes.
And she takes it away on them?
Yes.
She takes it out on them?
Yes.
And they're crying, yelling at her.
I pull her back. I make her stop.
How does she beat them?
She's like that. She hits them and she spanks them with the paddle.
Your kids too?
No.
The interviews with the children proved invaluable, as Senna's daughter was willing to tell the truth, while her mother was not.
And when you do get in trouble and you get hit, who's the one that's hitting you?
Both moms.
Both moms? Okay. What happens when you get in trouble?
I get spanked.
You get spanked?
With wood.
With wood. Okay. Where do they spank you with the wood?
I have like a bruise right here.
Where's that?
Right here.
What body part?
Right here.
Right there? Okay.
According to her own children, not to mention the camera, Senna's claims of being faultless were nothing but hollow lies. As if that wasn't enough, Senna's text message history once again undercut her declarations of innocence. Senna messaged Kushman, "I'm going to hit him, I swear. He just needs to shut the up." In a subsequent message, she wrote, "I'm still trying for you because I know it upsets you and it hurts you, and for me because I need to learn to control myself." Kushman messaged her saying, "AB is on a rampage." Senna's response was, "Well, locking up." We can only assume that she meant lock him up. However, this can't be verified. Senna's guilt extended far past encouragement, and police had footage of her chaining various children on more than one occasion. Of course, Senna claimed it was all Kushman's fault.
I know she was drug him outside once. Not like dragging, but she's pushed him out the doors to yell at him. But that's all I saw because I was inside with the kids.
The person who reported Kushman had recently moved out of her residence. However, they did see what would take place on these walks.
And in those months that you were there, that this is what you observed? Or
Yes,
saw?
sir. Yes, sir.
How many times did you observe this? I mean, was it something that would happen
Non-stop.
Non-stop?
Non-stop what?
That they would beat them up, or they were chained to their bed.
Why is she starving him?
She's not starving.
Yes, she is.
He's crying saying he's hungry.
You mean to tell me that? Look how tight that is.
That is very tight.
That is very tight.
It goes that tight.
Let's get back to the food. Why is she, don't not say she's not starving him. She's starving him because he's complaining he's hungry. He even says he's hungry at times. Why is she starving the kids?
I don't know. I know he gets out and he steals everything. And if his stomach is full, then he doesn't eat, or like for the rest of the day because his stomach is so full, don't want to get him sick. Or he'll eat broth or a tortilla. They've never gone an entire day without eating anything. We're on that one. As far as I know, they have never gone an entire day without eating.
Notice how Senna initially firmly denies the children ever going hungry and switches to "as far as I know" later on. It seems she doesn't even believe what she's saying herself.
Like if we still or we scream that we hungry.
Mm-hmm. So if you still or you scream that you're hungry, you miss dinner?
Yeah.
A complete review of all the security footage revealed that AB had been chained without access to food, water, or a bathroom for more than 14 hours straight during the period the footage was recorded. As the other children weren't as consistently restrained, it was impossible to say how frequently, or rather infrequently, they were fed. This was all completely inhumane, but even more shocking was what else Kushman was known to do to her children.
When was she put in the cage?
Yeah, okay, I've never heard of a cage. I've heard accusations. I've never seen them in cages.
McDaniel, who didn't even live at the residence anymore, had seen the children locked away in dog crates. So had members of Cushman's family. Cushman's aunt and her cousin spoke with police and revealed that in 2016, when they'd visited the house, they found CK locked in a dog cage on the front porch. It was the middle of winter, and she was only wearing pajamas. Matthew also said he'd seen the children in cages, but Sheriff Bowman insisted otherwise.
I never saw a kid in a kennel because I would have come unhinged. You don't know me, but anybody around here that knows me knows what I would have done.
I would hope so.
The state police would continue their investigation, but ultimately, Sheriff Bowman was not charged with anything. However, in 2023, he popped up in the news once again, this time in connection with the foster family who had taken in the Cushman children.
Mr. Bowman shot their dog on their porch, and the Ring camera has it on Ring. And the woman got contacted by lawyers saying, "Hey, do you want us to do something about this?" Yes. Their dog, the little dog that don't hurt nobody. I remember that dog. He shot it on their porch, walked up on their yard and shot their own dog and then got in their vehicle.
Senna, on the other hand, was facing a host of charges, just like Cushman.
You contributed to
And I
this.
never wanted to be with her. I tried to leave several times.
Then why didn't you leave?
I did. She just brought me back.
How?
She gets in your head. She makes you think stuff, and she made me feel like. And I came back. There's one time she threatened to just get me back in the house so I can stay. Then I didn't leave again.
It was like a cult of lesbians.
These claims could indicate a disturbing pattern in Cushman's alleged behavior. These patterns are similar to those we see in cult leaders, including narcissism, love bombing, targeting vulnerable people such as teens, and stringing people along. Narcissists often lure their victims with excessive affection and attention, making them feel special and adored. They manipulate by idealizing the victim, mirroring their interests, and projecting fantasies onto them, fostering a deep but false connection. Once trust is gained, they begin to devalue the victim, causing confusion and insecurity. Finally, they discard the victim or cycle through phases of idealization and devaluation, causing significant psychological and emotional damage. It's important for individuals to recognize these manipulative patterns and prioritize their emotional well-being in relationships.
Well, why are you so scared of that? That's what I want to know. Did she beat you?
She used to leave us alone.
Okay.
I left her pretty big first. And ever since then, I'm just scared of her because if she just did that out of slight anger, I know what she's going to do if she finds out I just turned against
I know there's guns in the house.
Exactly.
During one of their calls, Laura informed Cushman that Senna had broken during interrogation.
Are you there? Hey! No, I don't have any good news. I have no good news. Jayme told them you did it. Are you kidding me? No. But remember, we're being recorded this whole time, okay? Yeah. But she told them that about you being on the phone. She told them that when she saw the video, that you beat the kids. I was told I could share this with you, but it's very long. But I needed you to know that.
Am I going to prison for the rest of my life?
Your lawyer's gonna work on that.
Laura, I love you. Please know that, okay?
We've got a minute left, okay?
I love you.
I know.
Then tell me back.
I love you too.
Laura, I can't go to prison for 60 years.
You need to know that
What did I do?
Huh?
What did I do?
After years of inflicting torment upon the children and the repercussions of her actions catching up to her, Kushman frantically reaches out to her mother.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Mama.
Love you.
I love you too. Mommy, you don't believe I'm this horrible person they say I am, do you?
No, I don't, sweetie. Ever. Everything I do. Ever. You're not a horrible person. No. And I will fight to the death if somebody says you are.
Okay. Mom, I promise I'm not.
What?
I promise I'm not. I loved my kids. I love my kids.
The person who reported Kushman finally helped bring the state police to her house, resulting in Kushman's arrest and the children's rescue. In the end, Jayme Kushman was charged with a total of 21 counts of intentional child abuse that did not cause great bodily harm or death. She was given an additional charge for conspiring to commit the abuse and another charge for interfering with an investigation. She eventually pled guilty to 5 counts of child abuse in exchange for a 15-year prison sentence. Jayme Senna faced the same charges and pled no contest to 4 counts of child abuse. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Finally, Laura Melanson was also charged with 5 counts of child abuse. She pled guilty on 2 counts and is expected to face the same 6-year sentence as Jayme Senna, though an official sentence has yet to be announced. As for the children, police were able to give Jamie McDaniel this positive update.
They're with some really good people, and the kids already gained 14 pounds. And they are all back in school, and they are loving it. Great. So they're doing really good.
No, you're good. You're good.
These kids are doing good.
Matthew, Alicia, and McDaniel all expressed relief that the children were finally out of Kushman's control.
There's no sentence in the world that would justify her actions. There's no punishment equal to the amount of damage that she did to those children.
If the kids ever saw this, I would want them to know that they were very loved by some people in their lives who really, really wanted to help them and who were really sorry they couldn't.
After their extreme suffering, we have to hope the children are getting a chance to recover and make a fresh start, and that they will never be hurt this way ever again.